All right, so we are out here at the Middlesex Fells, just north of Boston in Massachusetts. And this is a pretty unique area in that we get some pretty rugged trails here, just about 20 minutes north of the city of Boston, which is kind of hard to find. And these trails are no joke, if you can tell by my breathing right now. The reason I'm out here today is to get some vert on, some vertical gain, because vert is real. You know what? I'm probably gonna title this video that. And what I mean by that is, if you're training for a race with a lot of vertical gain, you need to get that vert. You gotta go out to a local trail or even find a hilly road to do repeats on. And for me, that's been a challenge close to home. We're approaching May and June, and I've got races in July, and I want to do some big things in June, and that means I gotta increase my volume, but I also have to increase my elevation gain per week. And for a while I've been doing that on the treadmill, but that's not always realistic either. It's good to have the varied terrain, you know, rocky, uneven surfaces, good for balance. So if you've got a race on your calendar, I'd love to hear from you. Chime off in the comments down below. Let us know the stats. How many miles, how many feet of elevation gain, what kind of terrain is it? Is it rocky? Is it desert terrain? Let us know in the comments down below. Remember how I said this trail is popular? That is the line of cars trying to get into the parking lot at one of the trailheads. Yeah, another runner up there. He's a lot faster than me. I'm not keeping up with that guy. The thing about this place is there's really no big sustained climbs, but there's a lot of small climbs that are pretty steep. So you never really get a break. It's always like a little downhill to an instant uphill. Whereas when you're in the mountains, you typically do one big climb to a summit and then a long descent. You don't get that here. Speaking of stats, the events or races that I have coming up in the future, in June, I've got one run in the mountains. That's gonna be about 30 miles and a little over 10,000 feet of elevation. I'm not gonna tell you what that is yet, but I'll definitely have a video about it. And then in July, I've got the Vermont 100 endurance race in Vermont. And the stats on that race is about 100 miles and about 17,000 or 18,000 feet of elevation gain. The weird thing about Vermont is that a lot of it is on like Jeep roads and horse trails. So it's not very rocky, and that makes it actually more difficult because there's no like stairs to climb. It's more like a ramp, and that can be really dangerous on your quads and on your calves. So before that race, I definitely want to get some like dirt road hills in. And there's a really good one at Wachusett Mountain here in Massachusetts. After Vermont, depending how I'm feeling, I've got another mountain adventure planned. And that one is about 18 miles and about 9,000 feet of elevation gain. Oof, this rocky area here. And I'm pretty stoked for that one. I'll definitely have a video about that as well. And then in October, I've got another 100 miler at the Mid-State Massive 100. The stats on that are about 100 miles and about 12 or 13,000 feet of elevation gain. So it's not super hilly, but a lot of that elevation happens early in the race within the first 50 miles. Did I take a wrong turn? No, I'm good. I'm good. And you know, these are just the things I have on the calendar so far. There's definitely gonna be more adventures in store. I'm also in the market for a 50K or a 50 miler. So if you know of any in New England, let me know down below. I'd love to hear from you. Make sure that they still have spots open though, because those seem to be filling up fast. And I'm being lazy. I need to scour Ultra Sign Up a bit more. It seems like all the races are moving to Run Reg these days. What happened to Ultra Sign Up? Does that make me old? got a bit of a climb here. It's time to walk. Super beautiful just north of Boston here today. It's about 75 degrees and sunny, and it just feels very warm. Here's one of the high points of the fells. You can hear the highway down below. That's always nice. I'm also out here testing the Amazfit T-Rex Pro. It's actually pretty cool so far, so stay tuned for a video on that. And I'm comparing it to my Garmin Fenix 6S. All right, we've kind of reached the highlight point of the Skyline Trail. Over here we've got an area called Wright's Tower. Back here, see this tower thing? That's a, I think it's from World War II or some war. We used to use it as like an overlook to the city of Boston. And I'll show you why when we get a little closer. All right, it doesn't look great on a GoPro, but if you look right about there, you can see the city of Boston skyline. And that's kind of where this trail got its name from. Get the perfect skyline. This area is really cool at night when the city's all lit up. And then down below here, you see Route 93, and that's the main drag going in and out of the city. Right here, we've got one of the most competitive downhill segments on Strava in this area. This is called the Wright's Tower Descent. And it's super gnarly, and not only is it gnarly, but it's covered in broken glass because we're so close to the city. Kids hang out up here or whatever, and there's a bunch of broken glass from beer bottles or whatever. So if you fall, you're gonna be in broken glass, so you don't wanna fall. Let's see how fast I can do it with the camera though. Yeah, that wasn't very fast. Okay, I gotta stop talking to the camera because I'm really killing my pace today. All right, that just about wraps up my run for today. I got about a little over 9 miles and close to 1,700 feet of elevation gain. So my ballpark for elevation gain when I'm trying to train for higher elevation gain races or events is I try to get between 100 and 200 feet per mile. So I achieved that today. I know that's not a lot for some people, but for me, that's just right to get me trained up for these races I have on the calendar. So anyways, thanks for joining me at the fells today on the Skyline Trail. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, why don't you hit that subscribe button, give me the thumbs up, do all the things down below, leave me a comment, say hi. Okay, I gotta go now. Bye.